Hello brothers and sisters, welcome to another episode here on Dangerous African Confessions HD. In this episode, we have the continuation of the story about the prophet of God, who has defied his wedding vows and even the office that he occupies as a leader and a prophet of God. The issue is that he has been having an immoral relationship with some of his congregations. And the revelation is that he has been sleeping with a female pastor in his church. And on top of it, has impregnated the female pastor he has been sleeping with daughter. This confession is from the wife of this prophet. A woman who recounts how much they have suffered to build their life to the level that it is at the moment. How she neglected everything everyone was telling her, even including her own family members, to not go into marriage with this pastor. But for the trust and love she had for this man, she decided to follow what her heart was telling her. Without wasting much of your time, let us go and listen to what we have in this episode.
So the man took him as his son and promised to help his ministry to grow. And that is what pushed my ex-husband's ministry to the next level. He will make us organize programs and put him on the bill to speak at the program. And because of his name, people started taking the church more seriously. This senior pastor in the Lord gave us a lot of advice and guidance as to how to build the church and make it one that is really important, and also put my ex-husband's name to the top. He had come to love my ex-husband to that level. That everything that he does that he feels needs someone else to look into it for him, it is my ex-husband that he will call. This relationship took him to the next level. Because wherever this man of God will stand, he will talk about his son on the Lord. And like that, people started using my ex-husband for programs, and during the period of I think our 7th year, he was all over the place. I was extremely happy and proud to have stick with him regardless of oppositions that we had. Little did I know that this game and money that was coming was going to change this man. I started noticing some changes in him that I didn't know existed until he started making money and becoming popular. The tone he would use to talk to me anytime there was an issue to discuss that he was not in comfort with. Is either he will shut you down or will not even make himself available for you to have that conversation with him. This wasn't the man I had neglected everything to follow and marry against the wishes of my family. But then as a wife, I was still determined to ignore everything and make things work as things were before. So I developed this pretense behavior. Always putting up this pretense as if nothing has happened. So, he started going to programs with one of his pastors, who was a female. This lady, I never thought any bad for them going to this one program to the other. All I thought was they were doing the work of the Lord. The lady pastor too was having a daughter, who was also one of our lead singers in church. She is so good when she mounts the pulpit to minister. You always feel the presence of the living God whenever she ministers. I developed so much likeness to this girl and allowed her into my life as a daughter in Christ. She used to come to the house to help me with some duties. Sometimes, I even asked her to go to the house to do some chores for me when I know I was running late at the office. I didn't like this thing of a house help. Growing up, I never saw my mother having one, but she was able to maintain the house. For that reason, I also told myself that I was not going to have one. But we also make my house work just like my mother. This girl Gifty was the only person I allowed in my house to help me on some things. She was such a lovely lady. I never ever thought that one day my husband will ever have something to do with her. I wouldn't have even thought of allowing her into my house in the first place, if it ever crossed my mind. All that I thought was that, when I am running late, then I will call her and tell her what to do for me. So that, by the time I get home, what I will do, will be less. So this continued till one day, I saw when I had asked her to help me with some stuff to the house. When she came in, I saw her and I didn't see her well. I am a lady, and there are things that I am fast about. One of it is when I see you and you are pregnant, I can just tell you. So the moment I saw her, it struck me and I called her. I asked her about the person responsible for her pregnancy straight away like that. She looked at me in a way and shook her head that she wasn't pregnant. I told her that I was a woman just like her, but I am experienced in that. Because I have a child. I see her to be pregnant, and so if she is not aware, she should go for a checkup and see the results. She thanked me but then, still maintained that she wasn't pregnant. One thing that caught my attention was that, when I told her that she is pregnant, she acted in a way that suggested there is something that I shouldn't know about. I got curious and wanted to know what the checkup was going to be. So the next morning, I called her and told her to escort me to town. I had my own plans to just drive her to the hospital to go and do the test. To her surprise, I just took her to the hospital to take the test. At first she didn't want to, but I told her that it is better to know if you are pregnant so you can know what to do in the early stages. This is what calmed her down and accepted to take the test. The test came later and she was pregnant. Then came the next question. So I asked her who was responsible for it. She looked at my face and said nothing to me. She begged me not to tell anyone about it. I promised her I won't tell anyone. But she has to tell me the person responsible for it. Anything that I told her didn't work. So I decided to let it go. I just wanted to be there for her, but since she is not ready to open up, I had no choice. So, when I dropped her, I told her she can always call on me when she wants to talk or needs any assistance. After about a month, I heard that she has been admitted at the hospital for trying to abort the pregnancy. It was at the hospital that she told the doctor about the person responsible for her pregnancy. And also responsible for giving her the medicine to try and abort the pregnancy. And after taking the medicine, the bleeding that was coming was too much for her, which resulted in her collapsing. So, the doctor told her that trying to abort the pregnancy was unlawful and they will give her to the police unless she tell them who was responsible for that. That was when she revealed that my husband has been sleeping with her whenever she goes to the house to do what I will ask her to do. She said he has been sleeping with her for more 6 months. So it was after I took her to the hospital to check that is when she told my husband that she was pregnant and I knew about it. But then my husband told her that she needed to clear it because, when it comes out like that, it was cause a lot of problems for him and her as well. So, he went and bought the medicine himself and gave it to her. It sounded like she was just making things up. I couldn't believe anything she was saying. This wasn't the man I knew that Gifty was talking about. The doctor then asked me if I knew the man she was talking about. I told the doctor that the very person she is talking about is my husband. He asked me where he was. And I told him he has traveled. Actually, he had traveled with Gifty's mother for a 3-day program outside of the city. It was him, Gifty's mother and 2 other young pastors that went with him. This thing was too much for me. I decided not to talk about it on the phone with him. So, I told Gifty not to tell anyone about it for now. I paid for everything that she will be needing for her treatment. I went home and that very night, I felt the whole world was coming against me. How could he have done that? I started asking myself so many questions. Is it Gifty alone or there are other girls in the church that he has been doing that with? I couldn't sleep the whole night. When they returned, I didn't talk about it with him. I decided to do my little investigation to find out what was going on behind my back. When I was leaving the hospital that day, Gifty's younger sister wasn't around, so I couldn't warn her not to tell anyone about what has happened. So as soon as her mother returned and asked about Gifty, she told her about her attempted abortion and took her mother to the hospital. Gifty's mother was told by the doctor that my husband was responsible for her pregnancy. That afternoon, I decided to go to the church and have a discussion with my husband in his office. Because he was there for his usual prayers. I got there and I heard serious arguments and shouting coming out of his office. It was a lady's voice. I kept cool at the entrance behind his door listening. It was Gifty's mother arguing and questioning my husband why he can do that to her and her child. Not knowing, he has been sleeping with her too and has even done 2 abortions for my husband. And now he is also sleeping with her daughter. She threatened to let the entire congregation hear what he has done. I hated my husband saying she shouldn't do that, for he will find a way to solve the problem. He told her that he knows he has messed up, and there was nothing that he could do. But he wanted to give the woman and her daughter money to appease them, so that they will not let the case out. So just as she angrily opened the door, she saw me and was shocked. My husband also followed her and saw me. As soon as he saw me, he went on his knees and was begging. I said nothing to them and left the place. I came right to the house and packed my belongings and called my younger brother to come help me out. That evening when he came, he helped me pack my things out of the house. Gifty's mother came to me together with Gifty to apologize. I told them I don't hold anything against them, but I thank God that through them, I have gotten to know the kind of man I was married to. We went to court and had the marriage dissolved. He tried in so many ways for me to rethink my decision, but I was not ready for it. So that is how my 10-year marriage ended. Please, I would like every youth out there listening to me to be very vigilant in your marriage or relationships. And when you find something that does not help your growth as a woman in your marriage or relationship, please don't force it. Just let go and have your sanity. Thank you for your time. I hope my story serves as a lesson to us all.
Don't forget to please subscribe, share and like our videos. Kindly hit the notification bell so you will be the first to get notification to our videos when we upload. Like I always say, these are not just stories for story's sake. They are meant for us not to make these mistakes our brothers and sisters are making. That's why we share these stories with you. Sometimes some of these stories comes in as a shock to us, because I am wondering why and how, as a married man of God, who preaches against this same thing, will engage himself in same. You see, as people who are about to enter into marriage or any relationship for that matter, please try to search for the inner character of the person you want to go that journey with. Sometimes, we let the love that we feel blinds everything that will be staring at us in the face. And when after we cannot do anything about it, we turn to blame other people. I know our followers and listeners will also share their thoughts and comments, but we should know that, if as a pastor you can't control yourself when you start to see blessings in a form of money and increase in numbers, then there is absolutely something wrong with you and the pastoring that you are doing. These things do happen to most ladies when they are of age to get married. Anything their parents tell them about the person they want to settle down with, they mostly ignore them, only to leave and later regret their actions. I pray that we learn from some of these stories and live a better life. If not for anything at all, it pays to live a decent and better life. Stay blessed and be safe. Thanks for being a part of this growing family. Kindly share your thought with us in the comment section below. And if you are new here, please subscribe, like and share.